So I didn't realize how sick I felt until it was gone. I had brain fog, bad memory. Because of those things, I didn't do well at my jobs plural. I felt tired, lethargic. I didn't sleep well. I had a bloated stomach all the time. And I thought this was my norm. This was just going to be my normal state of mind. I thought maybe I was born this way. I thought maybe it was my genetics as to why I was feeling this way. And I wish I knew about the carnivore diet sooner, because for so many years, you guys, for 10 years, I thought I just had these issues in my body because I was just born like this. I thought it was just how it is. But really, it was just my gut not healthy. It was just my gut being broken down over time, my gut lining that led me to have leaky gut. And so I wish I knew that, the carnivore diet was good for gut health. I was living in the plant-based world. I was plant-based for 8 years, but before that, I was just eating junk food and took antibiotics for my acne. And it's probably why I know it's why I had gut issues. And I know and I know the plant-based diet sped the deterioration of my gut, because I already had issues. But the plant-based diet, the high carb, because it was high carb, low fat, it really sped the deterioration of my gut, and it led me to have leaky gut. But meat was so long talked about, as a form of causing cancer. If you eat too much meat, it causes cancer. It had a bad reputation in health communities. And I wasn't part of the movement nowadays where it's considered MAGA. And I'm not part of that community, but I'm just saying that I didn't realize there's other communities in the world where meat is actually promoted and sought after, besides, the government promoting it. And meat is so good for you. And I only know this through my experience of being on the carnivore diet for so long, for 1.5 years now, almost 2 years now, that meat has satiated and healed my gut. And it's the primary reason why my gut is completely healed. And it's fascinating to see how it affected my body, because when I was high carb, low fat on the plant-based diet, I thought I was doing the right thing for so long, for 8 years. And, when I switched to eating meat, I just felt, especially when I did the carnivore diet correctly, because I didn't do it correctly in the beginning, but over time, taking the right amount of salt and eating enough animal fat and eating the grass-fed beef tallow, cooking with it with grass-fed meat, steak, and different kinds of protein, and making sure that, to eat enough fat on my diet in the carnivore diet, I felt a relief, a reduction in a lot of the symptoms that I had, from the bloating, lethargy, tiredness, foggy brain, even the cramps. I was getting cramps in my legs, but really it's because I was lacking salt in my body. And so I made sure to have electrolyte salt on the carnivore diet, and it helped tremendously. It helped so much of my gut issues, you guys, and it completely healed my leaky gut. And I thank the Lord. I literally, quite frankly, thank the Lord for introducing me to the carnivore diet, because, like I've said in other videos, I didn't know about gut health. Gut health was not talked about for 10 years plus before. Now it's talked about a lot. Before it was not. So seeing the symptoms in my body, I knew that they were there. I just didn't know they were related to each other, and didn't know that all of it were coming from the origin of pain, which was my gut. I didn't know that could happen from my gut. I didn't know my gut had issues. I was confused. I thought my bloated stomach was fat, you guys. I thought it was fat. It was not fat. It was just my stomach just not feeling well, my microbiome being off balanced. And these are things I wish I knew. I wish someone told me about the carnivore diet. And that's why I'm making this video, so that people know about these testimonials about people being on the carnivore diet that healed their gut, and why, what their history is, why they did it. And I'm not promoting this diet for other reasons, for weight loss or anything like that, because that's not my story. My story is my gut is completely healed. Specifically, my leaky gut is completely gone because of this diet. It's one of the main reasons why my leaky gut is gone. And I want that for you. You know, I want your brain to feel alive and well again, because the gut and the brain are connected. You know, there is a cord called the vagus nerve that speaks from the brain to the gut. They speak to each other all the time. And if your gut feels bad, your brain will feel bad. It's why you have foggy brain, because your gut is not feeling well. That vagus nerve is connected. So they're married to each other, guys. So if one is off, the other will be off, okay? So make sure that, you know, when you're on the carnivore diet, keep in mind that it will relieve a lot of the issues, even in your brain, from like the depression, anxiety, tiredness, foggy brain, bad memory, because a lot of those things can happen from your gut, because your gut is compromised and it needs to be healthy again. And once it is, your brain will be happy again. I hope this video helped. If you are struggling on the carnivore diet, struggling specifically with your gut issues on the carnivore diet, I specifically created a free video guide just for you about the 7 mistakes that you are committing to not heal your gut. I placed it down below in the description box, and I hope you have an amazing day. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.